somebody wanted to kind of mouth off on some of my poems, so let me. The dedication to our former governor and Senator J. Rockefeller. So listen, my children, and you shall hear how West Virginia was bought for $12 million and a barrel of beer. He was from the tribe of the Manhattans, and he chose his braves from out of the state to take the jobs from us paleface. And then the wind began to blow, and he declared an emergency that there'd be a big snow. He loved the haunts of nature. He really did buy 50,000 acres. He loved the thunder of the road, as Jim Manchin goes, our Secretary of State, hopping like a toad over the West Virginia roads, past the meadows and the cornfields full of that multiflora rose. But he hated the Archmore Bridge that spanned the new, something that he could not do. But he stopped our field hall track and fame, and there's no one else to blame. Now this is a legend, and I have told you, but things will be getting worse as long as Exxon, Shell, and Gulf control the earth. Verse 2. All through the night I was shaken, I was wakened by a voice that said to me, Jay is leaving, taking his hands from out of our pockets, leaving only Exxon to rob us. The only job that Jay ever had was bought for him by his dad. But when he left, he had to fly because he left too many holes in the road to drive. We'll change the tune a little bit. We call those things Rockefeller canaries. That's the only thing Rockefeller did while he... Every now and then you get a bad one. That's the only thing he did was protect those things while he was... That's right, he didn't let anybody kill them. And, all right, when our chieftain come from the west to do his best and get his country out of debt, what did he find above his chamber door? Bird, Senator Robert C. Byrd, saying, nevermore. This is the same bird that flew to the Panama and stayed all day and gave our canal away. He legalized murder through abortions, you know, and he let the Vietnam draft dodgers go. That's our Senator Robert C. Byrd. Now, you know, now kind of worse some of that politics out. I'm going to give you a real sad poem. If you girls want to cry, you can. It's about a little West Virginia boy that didn't have any shoes. When winter breaks and the earth awakes and the dogwood and redwood blooms, and the robins return and build their nest and raise their young, which fly away too soon. But the barefoot boy with fishing pole, he heads the old swimming hole. But when he swims, the girls retreat because there's more bare than just his feet. Sounds of the night, from mountaintop to mountaintop, echoes in the night, the hound dog howling like a trumpet sounding, and from the pines the wildcat whines, the hoot owl hoots, and the whippoorwill calls to let you know that he is part of it all. That grandpa, with his corncob pipe and his loving wife, beneath his cabin roof, as the stars shine through the oaks and pines, and the fire burns low with a reddish glow. It's part of the life, it's part of the night of the country kind. Ain't you got enough there? What was the countdown? The Challenger? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're off. That night when the little lights flicker not and the roar of the engine is silent and the astronauts have quit their flight and they're cleared for service up yonder with 1,000 beautiful things beneath their wings. They had the best. It's time to rest. cleared for service up yonder, out past the moon and stars and Milky Way, and through the gates of pearls and down the streets of gold, to a landing in the Master's green pastures. And then before the great white throne they knelt to close their flying career. And he said to them, "You all think we had no need of astronauts up here?" That's it.
That's good.
These coal companies were owned by, mostly by steel corporations and automobile manufacturers.
Okay, so
different ones,
Coal came.
Pittsburgh Steel and United Steel.
Oops.
And then there was an awful lot of smaller independent coal companies. There's a fellow that his great-great-grandfather came in here and after George Washington chopped off all this land in here. And somehow he got a hold of it. And his great-great-great-grandchildren sold off one of these counties over here, all the coal rights, for $400 million recently. And so now they're running for political office. And, you know, in this state you can buy it. And this is part of the Hatfield-McCoy feud country, you know.
Yeah.
Or that was really about 60 miles west of you, but it really happened, you know. I mean, they really fought it out. And they sent this Baldwin-Felt detective agency up in Roanoke to straighten it out. And Devil Lance shot every one of them. They said that it had to be him, that he put his mark on them, that every one of them got right between the eyes. he got every one of them.
Do you live?
Success, failure, sadness, joy, tension, anger, bodily pain, mistakes, carelessness, elements of bad weather. But the worst of all, the socialistic conspiracy of the armchair bureaucrats against free enterprise. Through all of this, there's never been a moment of doubt that flying was meant for me. At times I'm tired, but not of flying. May I justify this statement by saying I'm one person where he wishes to be, doing what he wants to do. I would not trade with any man. With the will to continue and never-failing faith in God, I respectfully submit this book. It is this way with men who fly. And so then, I pen a lot of poems, so I write a poem to go with the book. It is this way with men who fly when dark and restless skies are passing by. I too like the clouds and restless to fly, to see the mountains other side. Onward, upward, it beckons me until at last I must surrender. Homeward bound to the bonds of earth, compelling men's spirit to look up. Henceforth ever landing I vow, I will fly again at dawn or dusk. It is this way with men who fly. That's the first poem in it. I wrote a poem that's not been published yet, called On the New River, On the New. Off of your crowded city streets where seldom a stranger speaks, and into the wild and beautiful wonderland. Climb her mountain peaks, descend her canyon walls beside the waterfalls, to where the New River runs swift and deep. Ride her kayaks, rafts or canoes, and when you dock where the hawks once nest, you'll say you've conquered the new, but she'll say back to you, I just let you pass through. What's your favorite poem? I can quote it.
Oh, I don't have a favorite poem.
Yeah, you don't.
Well, I do. I have a book of poems, but I don't have a favorite poem. My favorite poem is the one my brother wrote, so you can't quote that.
Oh, no. I collect books of poetry.
Do you?
See where the pilot is. Ray, where are you, buddy? Can we have you like a nice ride?
Chuck, I want to...
Flying right over here.
Now the campground is right here?
Yeah, that's where we used to stay.